Life will always try to keep you comfortable, contained, and convinced that where you are is all there is. The normal is predictable. It's safe. It's familiar. But here's the truth. Nothing extraordinary ever happens in the land of the ordinary. The promises that have been planted in your spirit cannot grow in soil that has settled for good enough. Some of you have been living in cycles, repeating the same routines, walking the same paths, and telling yourself, this is just the way life is. But deep down, there is a whisper saying, there is more. That whisper is not a wish, it's a calling. It's the sound of your destiny knocking, waiting for you to step out of the comfort zone and into the unknown where your promise is waiting. Stepping out means you may not have all the answers. It means you might have to walk on water without a life jacket. It means you'll face the voices outside and inside telling you to stay put. But here's the truth. The normal will never require faith. And without faith, you will never touch the fullness of the promise. Don't let fear of the unfamiliar chain you to a life beneath your potential. Don't let the opinions of people who've never walked where you're going keep you from stepping into where you belong. Every step away from the ordinary is a step toward the extraordinary. You are not called to blend in. You are called to break out. You are not meant to survive the normal. You are meant to possess the promise. The moment you decide to move, heaven moves with you. The moment you choose to trust, the path begins to open. The moment you step out, the promise starts to unfold before your very eyes. Comfort is seductive. It whispers to you that where you are is enough, that you've done all you can, that there's no need to stretch, to risk, to believe for more. It wraps you in the warm blanket of routine, making you think that stability is the same thing as fulfillment. But here's the truth: comfort is not your friend when it comes to destiny. Comfort will keep you in a chair when you were created to run. When you settle for comfort, you trade the unknown possibilities of your future for the predictable patterns of your present. You accept limitations not because they're real, but because they're familiar. Many people live their entire lives inside the walls of what's safe, never realizing that those walls are not protection, they're a prison. And inside that prison, dreams wither, purpose fades, and potential dies in silence. Destiny doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in challenge. The soil of your future is made up of the trials you're willing to endure and the leaps you're willing to take. You will never see the fullness of your promise if you insist on keeping both feet planted in what feels secure. Sometimes you've got to step out while your knees are shaking, while your voice is trembling, while your mind is still wrestling with doubt. Because the first step out of comfort is often the step that changes everything. History is full of people who walked away from the comfortable to step into the impossible. They left behind safety nets, familiar faces, and predictable incomes. They risked failure, ridicule, and loss. But every great story of destiny begins with a moment when someone decided, I cannot stay here. I must go there. that decision always requires you to let go of the normal. The truth is, comfort disguises itself as peace. It makes you believe that the absence of struggle means the presence of purpose. But real purpose will stir you, stretch you, and sometimes even scare you. If you feel unsettled, it might not be a sign that you're failing. It might be a sign that you're growing. Discomfort is often the birth pain of destiny. When you resist discomfort, you resist transformation. Every time you step into a bigger level of purpose, you'll feel the pull of fear. Fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, what if I succeed? Comfort will side with fear every time because comfort values safety over destiny. But faith will push you forward because faith values purpose over safety. The enemy of your destiny is not always chaos. Sometimes it's calm. It's the kind of calm that lulls you to sleep while your calling waits outside the door. It's the kind of calm that convinces you that just enough is all you should hope for. But you weren't created for just enough. You were created for overflow, for abundance, for impact. And that will never be found in the arms of comfort. Comfort feels good for a season, but it will rob you in the long run. It will rob you of the courage to start, the endurance to keep going, and the vision to see beyond today. If you want to step into the promise, you have to be willing to break up with comfort. You have to look it in the face and say, you've been good to me, but I can't stay here. My destiny is calling, and I'm not going to miss it. A promise is powerful, but a promise alone will not change your life. A promise is potential, not possession. It's the vision of what could be, not the reality of what is. To bridge the gap between what you've been told and what you will experience, you have to move. Movement is the language of faith. Without movement, the promise remains a distant dream locked away in the realm of possibility. Too many people are waiting for perfect conditions before they act. They say, I'll move when the timing is right. I'll step out when I feel ready. But here's the truth. You'll never feel fully ready for the magnitude of what you're called to do. If you wait until you have every detail, every answer, and every guarantee, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. The promise doesn't manifest for those who sit still. It manifests for those who dare to take the first step without seeing the whole path. Movement requires courage, and courage often shows up looking like small, imperfect steps. You may think your progress is too slow, but every inch forward brings you closer to the place where the promise can meet you. You can't stay in the same place, do the same things, and expect to inherit something new. The very act of moving positions you to receive. Sometimes, the move you need to make won't make sense to those around you. People might question why you're leaving a stable job, moving to a new city, or ending a familiar routine. That's because the promise wasn't given to them, it was given to you. And because they can't see what you see, they'll try to talk you out of stepping into it. You have to decide whether you're going to live for their approval or your destiny. The promise is like a seed. It has everything it needs to grow, but it requires you to plant it in the soil of action. Without that planting, the seed just sits there, full of potential, but producing nothing. Every step you take is a watering of the promise. Every decision to keep moving, even when it's hard, pushes that promise closer to full bloom. Movement is not just about physical action, it's about shifting your mindset. It's choosing to think in alignment with where you're going instead of where you've been. It's refusing to replay the failures of the past and instead rehearsing the victories of the future. Your feet will always follow your focus. So if you want to walk into the promise, you've got to set your vision on it and refuse to look back. There's a power that gets activated the moment you decide to move. Doors begin to open that were invisible before. Resources start to show up that you didn't have access to when you were standing still. People enter your life who are connected to your next chapter, but they couldn't find you when you were hiding in the old one. The move draws the promise out of hiding and into reality. You don't have to know how it will all come together. You just have to take the step that's in front of you. The moment your foot leaves the ground of what's familiar, you declare to the world and to yourself that you are ready to meet the promise. And once you take that first step, you'll realize the path was waiting for you all along. It just needed you to start walking. So today, I'm telling you, the normal cannot hold you anymore. The comfort zone cannot contain you. The waiting season is over. This is the moment to step out, even if the ground shakes beneath your feet, even if your voice trembles when you say yes. You were not born to blend in, you were born to break through. The promise is not coming to find you in the land of the ordinary. It's waiting for you in the territory of faith. And every step you take toward it is a declaration that you believe something greater is ahead. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Make the moment perfect by moving now. Step out of the normal. Step into the unknown. Step into the promise. Because once you do, you will never want to go back.